Welcome to Aliyah 5, Genesis chapter 4, 19 to 22. Not a very long Aliyah, but, there's still some worthwhile information. So I welcome you back, and we're going to take a look at a few things. We have Cain here, whose line progresses to Lamech, and then it stops there for a moment, and we get some information. And it's good information because when we look at the names of the children of Cain, we find some interesting things that are going to become important later on in history. The son Jabal lived in tents and was a shepherd. You could almost say the beginning of nomadic tribes. Jubal, Lamech's second son, he was the creator of music. Tubal-Cain, he learned how to forge copper and iron. And then we have Naamah, who happened to be the sister of Tubal-Cain, and of course the half-sister of the other two brothers, who becomes important. And in different legends and in different midrash, Naamah becomes Noah's wife, which means Cain's line and Seth's line actually remerge. A little bit of spiritual awareness, be aware of. The Torah skips through some generations until it gets to Lamech. And Lamech's children, well, that's when the genealogy stops. The Torah implies that Zillah was not to have children. Therefore, Tubal-Cain and Naamah were unexpected and unwanted pregnancies. Tubal-Cain was named to commemorate Cain, great-great-great-grandfather, who died at about that time. He became the creator of weapons of destruction and murder. Unfortunately, copper and iron are very good metals to have, and we use them really well today, but unfortunately, they were also used to kill each other. Naamah becomes the mother of demons. That's in one midrash, because she was the descendant of Cain, and she was contaminated spiritually, and that comes from the Zohar. But I also gave you the other one, where she becomes the wife of Noah, so which one is which? The descendants of Cain are examples to us of how evil inclination can take over the soul, how there are some wonderful gifts that the Lord has given us, but it's up to us to decide what are we going to do with them. The interesting thing that we find in the Zohar is about Naamah, which means pleasant, which is an interesting thing to look at. The name was shared by different women along historical lines, but Naamah may name one of the spirits that was interesting to history, and that one could be that she might have been a goddess, she might have been mother of demons. She ends up in a lot of different possibilities, and no one's quite sure where to place her, which gives you some interesting information about how these legends and these midrash come about. Lots of different stories, lots of different rabbinical interpretations. And then I believe it's the ones that continue through the generations that are probably the closest to what the Lord was trying to tell us. This is a very different Aliyah to handle and to deal with. And it's very short also, because it's important to realize where music and metal forging originated. However, these were two very important skills that originated on the side of evil. It was Cain's descendants who developed these tools. It was Cain who committed the first act of murder. It was the buildup of negative spiritual energy that forced Cain to commit that first human murder. Since the concept of music and metalworks were developed by Cain's descendants, this can be viewed as teshuvah, or repentance at work. Cain's descendants were forgiven for sin, the sin of their ancestor. And the Torah is built on repentance. Remember, it's built in because God knew this was going to happen, that evil would come into the world through sin. And the story of Cain's descendants bringing such beauty into the world is a reminder that evil inclination can be overcome. Also, that the forgiveness of sin is necessary for human existence. If Cain was not forgiven for his sin, today's world may not know about music and metalworks. It should also remind people today that if repentance is truly done, then the person is no longer a sinner and deserves a second chance. If the person sins again, then evil inclination was not fully removed from that person. And at that point, yes, then the person should be shunned from our society. Very short passage. Again, I do have other information in the book for the 5th Aliyah, or you can get the book for all the Aliyot. I hope this has helped you in some way, shape, or form to understand why the Torah thought it was important to give us the descendants of Cain. And take care. And as always, shalom.